Usually when you're in lights,
you're sweating.
we really don't.
Yeah, no, I don't feel hot.
No,
I just feel interrogated.
Good morning, Get Well Soon family.
And happy Sunday.
This is your host, Tyler Kidd.
And your co-host, Angelina Messa.
And welcome to episode 8 of the season 2 of the Get Well Soon podcast, Deep Below. And we have a very special guest today. You guys better cheer, otherwise I will find you. A very, very special person today, TJ. Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today.
Yes, thank you.
We have a lot of good topics to talk about, and we brought in an expert when it comes to changing your life and becoming a better person and absolutely bossing life. Because if there's one person that does the damn thing, it's this man right here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you want to give a little introduction? Say hello.
My name's TJ. I'm Tyler's godfather.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got rid of my other one.
Yeah.
I
I don't
did.
even know who that was.
Not me. I don't know who it was.
There you go. But yeah, so Tyler asked me to come on. My name's TJ. I run for the last, 10 years, I've been in Atlantic City. Last 8 years, I've ran a security enforcement company in Atlantic City. I got a couple of new things going on, but I have a little story here and there to tell. So
Yeah, we're going to get into it today.
some stuff.
Yes. I actually I always talk about this. Atlantic City takes years off my life every time I go. But if there's one person that makes it, the reason that I get out of there, it's because of him.
try.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I've met some people there in the last 10 years.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you've seen people, met people.
Yeah.
If I have it.
Security in general, and then and then Atlantic City, it's its own animal. Yeah, we get into some stuff.
Yeah. I definitely want to, I don't have it in the outline, so don't let me forget. I want to ask you something about Atlantic City towards the end of
Okay.
when it's later.
All right.
But yeah, so we're going to do our weekly check-in. You guys know the drill. How you guys feeling? How are you feeling, Angelina?
Good. Life's actually pretty good right now.
Yeah, there you go. And you she's all smiley today. She's all happy. I think she might have maybe she'll have no pit today, you guys.
I know.
What's that?
We do peak and pit at the end of the episode. So peak is either the episode, the day, your past week, recently, what's your moment where you were at good, and then your pit is
Oh, okay. Peak.
I couldn't have done,
Yeah.
I could whatever. Angelina has the same pit while she's
week.
every week.
And it's nursing school. I'm in nursing school.
Okay.
An accelerated program, so.
Okay.
it just, every
Trails.
week, it follows her every week.
That's the end goal.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, but we might have a different. Whoop whoop! Thank goodness. Good job. Bring some life back to Angelina. I always say whenever we have an episode where you're I'm actually really good. It's not. I'm yes. I'm get well soon. Let's go. And then, how about you? How you feeling today? We have you here at the
Great.
Crack Acid Dawn.
Yeah, 7 a.m. I woke up and walked into a interrogation room. Never seen more lights in my life, but I feel
Yeah,
great.
no, it is. I guess I'm
I'm
used to it, but now that you're saying it, you can see every corner, crevice,
Every crevice.
everything.
Yeah. Make sure it's bright.
Yeah.
It is.
No, it is very bright.
How about you?
How about you? How are you
Yeah.
doing?
I'm doing good. I just almost said I had a good morning. I would have lied. I had a fine morning. I just didn't sleep last night. I don't know. I think it's being in a new apartment. I'm having I can sleep. There's certain nights where I'm literally, and it's from exhaustion or whatever, I just knock out, and that's fine. And then there's a lot of nights where I'm just I feel like I'm sleeping in somebody else's house, and I'm kind of I don't know, like a stranger. I don't know how to explain it.
Just not used to it yet.
Yeah, I'm just not used to it because I love it. I absolutely love being there. I'm not I don't know if I want to do, no, I'm good. I'm solid where I'm at. I think I'm getting used to it. And also the noises, I think somebody's breaking in every 5 seconds, even though it takes 3 padlocks to get to me. I just, people screaming or
Where are you at with weapons.
I want to carry.
Oh, we'll talk after.
Yeah.
I definitely think you should.
Yeah, no, I
After
did.
your couple experiences.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
for
baby steps.
Yeah, baby
Carry
steps.
right away.
No, I want to learn how to do
Yeah.
it first. Get comfortable with it. But everybody, people leave me alone. It's just it's the city. It doesn't really matter what part of the city you're in, regardless. I feel like it.
Someone slashed Jason's BMW tires.
Recently?
Right before we got rid of it and got the Bronco. Just randomly.
Where you live?
Someone, yeah.
That's weird.
It was like 3 a.m. Our camera doesn't point into our driveway, but our neighbor's camera did. But he had like a ski mask on, everything, and you can see the guy just randomly slashing tires. It looked like he tried to get in, but he couldn't. And my car wasn't in the driveway, thank God. Because sometimes I don't lock it.
Yeah, home protection.
Well, I
swear
was,
by it.
but I can't imagine somebody like ski masking him to go fuck with his car.
Well,
Or do you think it was just random?
Yeah, but what are you going to do? Not ski mask?
The whole street they did it?
Yeah, they were doing it to like the whole street. His tires were the only ones that like got
Oh,
slashed.
so it wasn't a hit.
It probably
just
was like
just a
they got pissed off and
that they couldn't get in.
yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. That's
who
crazy.
was it? Did you see it? You saw the video?
Yeah, you couldn't see the face though.
Because I mean, I'm going to say, as a kid, and I know it's horrible to say now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
We've slashed a couple tires just.
Oh yeah.
Like, fuck it, let's go slash tires.
But he was by himself. It wasn't
horrible.
like he was.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it wasn't like a group.
Yeah.
I talked about the time I took one of those little cat lasers. A new family moves into town, and I put it through their window to pretend that I was sniping them, and they actually, like, it was like a whole thing. They came out of the house freaking out. Yeah, they dropped to the ground, lights went off. I've talked about it on TikTok. I didn't think it was actually gonna work. Like it was like I was like literally in the
I have a
street,
whole
like,
setup.
shoom, shoom.
And so I live in Atlantic City, where I'm at. I live right next to a huge park.
Yeah.
And we call it the dirt lot next to it. And it's just random shit happens in the dirt lot all the time.
God.
I have 2 spotlights, 2 pairs of binoculars. I have 2 laser pointers.
You could have a fun. You have a great time.
I got a whole system.
Do you have
over
like a balcony?
Yes.
Yep. I'd sit right there. I would
yeah.
smoke my weed, and I'd just
That's
be like,
exactly what
do do
happens.
do do. Like,
And
what are you doing down
summertime,
there?
That's why I go into like seasonal depression. I love summer.
That is
I
so
love
crazy.
summer.
You have that because we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Seasonal depression.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Well, it's also because you go from so busy down there to like no one.
Well, you have the season and then the
Yeah.
off season, and it's that's exactly what happens. And
Yeah.
you kind of look forward to the off season
Yeah.
to a point, but that comes with summer ending.
Yeah.
And I'm a summer guy. I'm on
Yeah.
the beach. I'm on the boardwalk on my bicycle like
Yeah.
every day I can.
So you feel like you get like kind of like pushed inside, and then it's just
Oh
like,
yeah, and then I'm just like at my balcony window, just
'Cause
looking
it does-
at
I'm
Me and
sure
the
it gets
cat standing next to me.
super cold down there
Oh
because
yeah,
you're right by
in
the water.
wind. Yeah, it's a little bit more cold, but it's nice. But yeah, I try to hang on to that as long as I can. That's why I like summer. I love summertime.
That's
And
good.
we have it's even more because our summers like I'm on the boardwalk.
Yeah, no,
So
you
it's
you
like-
literally are living the summer
yeah.
to the
Everyone
fullest.
wants to live.
The summer, yeah.
It's nice. I try to take advantage as much as I can. A lot
think
of
you
work
do.
obviously is insane.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like whenever it is summertime, you are always on the beach. You're working out on the beach, you know.
I get it. Yeah, I try to get it. Even listen, it might be an hour. It might be an hour here, an
Yeah.
hour there, but I still try to.
Yeah.
I'll just run down if I can.
No, I always wish at the end of every summer, I'm always like, ugh, I wish I went to the beach more.
Yeah.
It's always.
I
Like
mean,
a
listen,
thought.
I still say that.
You're not a beach person now.
I know, but like going only on when I'm on family
Yeah.
vacation, like I can do
We
it
went
more.
to LBI together, and you were like,
I didn't want to
great.
leave.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
were
want to
like,
leave.
This is great.
I know that was. Ugh.
Did you go for the day or was it?
We did like
Yeah.
we did it as like a. I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. We did it. We were doing our summer photo shoot, but then we also had like Mike. We had Jada with us. We had her daughter. We met up with your grandparents,
Yeah.
who her grandfather then caught a stingray. Pulled
Okay.
that up. Yeah,
Really?
big. Wait, I have to show you. It was that was like. I felt bad because fishing freaks me out, but like it was actually like usually I'd be like, oh my god, like. You know, fishing, whatever. But, like, to be able to see a stingray come up and it was a big one, I was like,
Yeah.
well, one, I'm not going in the ocean
Oh
anymore.
yeah, I'm knee deep when I do my little ocean creations and sifting
But
stuff. I'm knee deep.
it was actually, like, really cool. And then there was even, like, there was weird animals that kept coming up. Though. Remember that,
Yeah.
like, weird green wormy thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's their world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only go so far in it.
I believe in the
My
pool.
grandpa is part of the fishing club, so like I grew
It's
up
his thing.
fishing.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I watch the fishermen all
Yeah.
day, every day. I have I can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't even want to catch a fish and take it off a hook. I don't want to bait it. Lord,
Yeah.
nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I wish I did. It looks so relaxing.
I know, he loves it.
I agree.
He's
It looks
70.
so
He's
relaxing.
70 years old, and like he's still
just
going.
chilling
He
out there,
goes up
yeah.
to his like
Oh, the
chest,
waders? Yeah.
and he throws it out, brings it in. He drives. He doesn't have a house down there in LBI, but he'll drive
Day
down
trips.
daily every day.
That's what we did. We always did LBI day trips.
Yeah.
I love it there.
Oh my
because
god.
it's close.
Yeah. And then I lived in Beach Haven for
really?
probably like a year on and
Okay.
off. Buddy, when I was doing concrete with a buddy. But yeah, I love it there. We used to go there all the time.
It's such a nice beach.
Nardies. That's where we used to go. It was different then when we used to go
Yeah.
there. Look at that thing.
It was huge.
Holy shit. Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
It was massive.
Man, where's that at?
LBI.
Really?
That's why, and like,
I might be going ankle deep now
Wait,
instead
look
of knee deep.
and like, look at its like,
Holy shit,
look at
yeah.
its thing. It was thick.
Yeah,
like,
that thing
no,
will tear you up.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
But you also have to
Wow.
think he can throw far, and he was like up to here when he casted it.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
out far,
Oh, yeah.
but
not far enough for
But
me.
that's on the beach, yeah. That's on the beach.
It's not for it to come up here. It wasn't far enough.
No.
It needs to go
and
yeah,
then
out.
I was helping carrying it out, and Tyler was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm used to
She was
doing
like-
this all the time."
She was like, "Can you hold my phone real quick? I'm gonna." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Be careful!" Like everybody, back up. I'm like, Jada, get back.
I'd have had the same reaction. I seen a guy yesterday. Me and Nikki were taking a walk on the boardwalk. This guy caught a fish, reeled it in. I walked over just to talk to him. Dude was ended up being crazy. He ended up, he took this fish like this big, and went like this and bit the hook in the fishes and popped it out. I was like, all right, I'll see you, buddy.
Okay.
I was like, just when I think I'm out of a fucking conversation, like, hey, what'd you catch? No, the guy just bites.
You're reminded exactly
Exactly
where
right.
you
Yeah,
are.
I get reminded all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Listen, it's a love-hate in Atlantic City. I made my bones there. you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, I know exactly what you mean.
But-
I mean,
but it's
I
a
love it,
love-hate.
but I also, and I don't even live there, but I literally, whenever people talk about Atlantic City, like when my friends are trying to plan something, like, all right, let's do Atlantic. I'm like, 50-50, you get me to come. I have to be in the mood and I have to be ready because
It's funny,
not,
when I tell people I live in Atlantic City, 90% of people are like, what? Like, people live there?
you choose
Like,
that.
you live in Atlantic City? Yeah,
Like there's residents
that's
there.
usually the reaction, yeah.
Oh, I love
It's
that.
nice, though. Listen, Atlantic City, uptown, downtown, it's got its nice areas. Midtown, it's got its problems, but...
You just have always told me don't go away from the boardwalk.
Yeah, I mean, listen, in general, I mean, I live in the city, so I move around
Yeah.
a little different. But if you're just visiting, the boardwalk, you're fine. And most areas, it's just there's certain, it's just like anywhere else.
Yeah.
There's areas, if you put yourself
Everything.
in, there's going to be problems.
Exactly. I also would move around differently if I were you too. Like, who's gonna mess with you?
You'd be surprised. On the street, it's a little different, but at work, it's funny. I get it all the time with the security. People are like, I can't, nobody messes. I'm like, you have no.
Well, you and your security guys are like this. They were amazing.
Yeah.
They were.
Oh, yeah, you've met a bunch
Yeah,
of them
for
now.
the
You've
for
been out there
that
a
and
few
like
times.
at the but even when they came for the Get Well Soon party, they were phenomenal. They were so funny taking photos together in the photo booth. I was like, and then they were
my
right
guys.
back to. And I'm like, I saw that. And you guys were just taking selfies.
And then they're back to, look.
Yep.
that's-
Yep. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they
they're
were
both-
amazing.
they're
And everybody
good
liked them
friends,
too. Yeah, they were really cool people. They were like inside chatting.
They're the guys I surround myself with now.
That's great.
That they're good friends. They're work. You know what I mean? We
Yes.
work together. I never say
Professional,
they work
but
for
still
me.
not like
Yes.
crazy, you know.
Yeah,
people are
they're
like,
just friends.
Yeah.
They're normal guys.
They wouldn't take, my family kept trying to feed them. They wouldn't take any food. They're like, we're on the clock or
You don't
whatever.
eat on the job.
No, and mom's like, eat a meatball sandwich. And they're like, no. My mom's like, eat a meatball sandwich. Like, they're like trying to force
Yeah,
me.
you're not saying no to an Italian.
No, and they are locked in. They're like, no, we're not straying. And the one, I went to hug. I hugged the one at the end, and my mom was like, "Did you feel it?" And I was like, "Yes, his
his vest
bulletproof
on.
vest." She was like, "Not locking on it." I was like, "Just have a great time, Mom. Wave and say
say
goodbye."
That's funny. Yeah, listen, these guys. You know, you're there for a reason. They know what it is, but
Yeah.
you never know.
No, you never know.
Listen, the thing is, once you have that security on you,
Yeah.
you're a target.
Yeah.
So once something happens, you're the target. So
Yeah.
you do even something like that. Just if something happened.
Well, you never know. There's such crazy people out there. And that's another reason why I did, I wanted security. I wanted it for the feeling of one, having the secured event.
You also have stalkers.
I have stalkers now, yeah. And I had, the invite list was a little bit wider than the usual. I had vendors coming that I've never met before. This is the first time I was meeting them, stuff like that.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. But that was actually, it was very nice. I blacked out the whole time, but I would believe that it was very lovely for everybody.
An amazing event.
Yeah. Next year, I need someone to run it the morning. I'll plan and do everything, but I need to be able to just I never get to talk to anybody or sit down and everybody always just want to have a conversation. And I'm always I love you, can't, got to keep going. There's something to get done or there's something somebody needs. And so next year, my goal is to have, my friend Caitlin does events and stuff like that. I might just be hey, do you want to
get it a coordinator?
Coordinator,
maybe.
that's what I wanted. Yeah, I want to do a coordinator. Yeah, I'm so glad that your first podcast is my podcast.
It is, yeah.
Yes, I love that, and they get well soon. Well, Angelina's, but I'm saying as as being your goddaughter, for that, I'm
that's special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Cool.
Isn't it pretty cool? And to have the headphones, that's my favorite part.
The real deal.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on Rogan's podcast.
Period.
Yeah, love that.
Love that.
Because we know he's watching, so.
We hope everybody's always watching. I love. We did have Steve-O's podcast tuning in for a little bit. Yeah.
He's a psycho. That's insane. Insanity, man. I've seen crazy shit, and that dude's nuts.
Yeah. Well, I can only imagine what it is his whole life or off camera because he has those, what is that, jackass stuff?
Yeah, jackass.
Yeah. And I'm who's doing? No, they will.
Listen, everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
You find a group of guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hang around with security guys. They hang around with each other to staple each other's assholes. You know what I mean? That's just what happens. There's a group of guys for that.
Yeah, there's somebody for everybody. We say that all the time. They're you don't have to. There's somebody for everybody.
There really is.
But yeah, so we're going to give a verbal discretion warning for people who are listening and can't see it at the beginning of the video because we are going to be talking just about, just some topics that could be triggering to other people. We never want to make anybody feel uncomfortable or upset or anything like that. But you guys know that we will have the conversations that most people are uncomfortable to have. And so today we're kind of going to dive into abusive behavior with drinking, drugs, that kind of thing. I have, oh my God, sorry, Matt. This podcast is sponsored by New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness. Speaking of drug abuse and alcohol abuse, at New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness, they will take the approach to finding out your true inner issues where the trauma, what,
The beginning part sounds such like an ad.
How many times can I say it, you guys? You guys know the drill. I come to New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness. Angelina does. Who knows? Maybe TJ will one day if he ever wants to. Really great people. So it's different than traditional therapy. It's holistic counseling. So they don't want to put you on medications. They don't want to put you in a box. They don't want to micro-label you or give you this crazy diagnosis that's oh, okay, you're depressed. Well, here's a script. Have fun. It'll fix it for you. No, they want to sit down with you and find out what a part of your life or a part of yourself, your childhood, is causing the feeling of depression or causing the feeling of anxiety. And then they give you the resources to work through that so that you have long results, longevity in your life experience.
It's funny. I'm just going to pitch in here.
Yeah.
I know a guy who recently started therapy.
Yeah.
Right. And it was one of the online things. So he called in first time that he met or talked to this person, this therapist, and the first session, they prescribed him an antidepressant. The first time they met this guy, talked to him through a Zoom, the first session, and he was like, he literally said to them, I'm just having a bad time.
Yeah.
I've never been on one. But that was their solution.
Their solution, and it's pharma, and then you get the money, and then you're hooked on it, because what it does is it numbs the firing of your neurons in your brain that does your thought process. So the less thoughts that you have and the less emotions you're able to have, the number you are, and then you get hooked on that numbing feeling, because the moment you come off, you don't know what to do, and you go batshit insane. It's disgusting, honestly, how they do that. And there's people who are looking for help, and so when they get on a first call, I wonder if it was BetterHelp.
Well, I don't know.
Because BetterHelp, I've heard awful things about.
Yeah, I don't know the exact.
To somebody, like for him, I don't know if he went on it. I would hope he didn't. But
no, he did not.
Yeah, for him, he realized, he was like, whatever. Some people would be like, okay, like if this is what's going to fix me.
Yeah.
And then they get hooked on antidepressants. And then they're like a shell of a person.
I don't want to say it's an age thing, but a lot of people trust their doctors and their with everything.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily
age thing. It feels like the older generations, especially like my grandparents' age, they kind of trust them more, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But now doctors are completely
doctors don't know necessarily. Some do, and this is just not everyone. I don't generalize, but they don't know health.
Yeah.
They prescribe.
Yeah.
They don't know health.
It's a pharma ran industry.
Absolutely.
Like, it would be different if it was like a holistic ran industry where they're like trying to get down. I would say, like, I think pharma should be like your safety net, your plan B.
I'm not even against medication. I'm saying that's your last
resort.
There's so many things you can do before you have to start. And also in the US, everybody's overprescribed. You don't need to have 20 days of a prescription. Most of the times, like I was talking to somebody who does pharma up in New York City, and they were like, the amount of actual medication you need for certain situations is so much less than what you get prescribed.
Well, and just the prices and the insurances, and it's illegal. It's a legal scam, is what it is.
Well, that's life is a legal scam.
Yes.
Oh, they have heard it from us. We talk about this all the time. We are our last episode that just went up, Angelina was talking about like nursing school and FAFSA, and she told me something that pissed me off so bad. I was like, fuck your job, fuck school. I was telling them, like, do whatever you want, because at the end of the day, nothing is for us.
Well, it's I think, and again, I don't know every state. I live in Jersey, but I'm going to say Jersey, it's just, like, Nikki's a massage therapist. My wife's a massage therapist, and she does Reiki and a bunch of other things. Holistic, actually. But she has to certify for this and certify for that every year, and it's like,
it's just
you're
money and
therapist.
money.
Yeah.
And everything is about money. It's even with the permits we'll talk about, but permits for this, permits for that. Everything is, you got to pay for this and pay for that.
Well, people were trying to tell me that I was going to have to pay and get a permit for the Get Well Soon party. And I said, for what? They're like, well, it's like if you're doing like a public event. I said, boom, it's private. Now what? I'm not going to pay you a permit to have people
in your backyard.
In my backyard. And they're like, oh, well, if you're doing vendors, I don't care what I put back here. I'm not paying the township to use my backyard.
But eventually,
Yeah.
bigger to get, you will.
No, I'm just going to buy my own building. Because if I'm going to pay for it, I might as well just have the whole goddamn thing. I'm just going to have my own building.
Well, that's the mentality.
Yeah. I mean, because like,
Get well soon
I'm
building.
I'm so against, it's
coming.
I know. It's, I'm so against like paying people for things like that. Like, no, who do you think you are? I already have to pay for this, for that, for this subscription to go do like everything. I agree. It's all, and a massage therapist, like you said, I'm just massaging your muscles. Like, what do I need to be paying other people to be doing
every year?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know my LLC. I'm so sick of paying.
But yeah, that's long story short. It's medication should be last, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's good to have it. It saves lives.
Absolutely. And again, there's always exceptions to rules. I'm talking about general.
Yeah.
Just general.
Well, speaking about medication, I had some stats, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and actually, the first one I have is a good stat. Well, no, it's a better stat. It's not. I wouldn't say it's good because this is just unfortunate anyway. But national surveys compiled by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention already show an unseen before. Or so this. There was another word here. I didn't know what the word was, so I changed it to unseen. So it's right now, there's a decline in drug deaths of roughly 10.6% that has not been seen in a very, very long time. It's a huge reversal from recent years where fatal overdoses Angelina, how do you say that?
Regular.
Yeah, increased by double-digit percentages. So as much as, so like before, the percentage of drug overdoses was going up by double digits. Like it was just uncontrollable. They're saying that there's been a decline by 10.6% roughly in drug overdoses over the past, maybe it's a year, couple years, the CDC put out. So I just,
As soon as you say CDC,
yeah.
I have no more. I don't even think it's like I don't believe anything.
No, that the CDC says?
I just don't listen. Again, I'm like I
No,
don't
you
really.
could share it.
I don't really trust a lot of what I read anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and the stats. Like I always say that I deal with things in front of me.
Yeah.
I really don't know too much about, like I said, politics and stuff like that.
And things that are like
And
outside.
outside them stats. I don't really know. I don't. But that's great. I mean, I hope it is. It's awesome. I mean, I see. I'm trying to think of like real life shit that I've.
Oh, well, roughly 100,000 deaths are still occurring per year. Street drug cocktails include fentanyl, methamphetamines, xylazine.
Yeah, I mean, 10% of a watermelon is a little different than 10% of a grape. So it's like, it's such a huge.
What does that mean?
It means like, how do I explain it? So, because a watermelon's bigger. So 10% of a watermelon is bigger than 10%
Instead
of
of,
a grape.
oh, okay,
So
okay.
saying there's so many overdoses, 10%'s like, it's like,
Oh no, that 100%. It's not like, that's why I was like, it's not a good stat. It's just a better than.
We're moving in the right direction.
We're a baby step,
But again,
still,
where did they get the stats? Who did they poll? How do they know this?
Well, we always talk about this. There's, no matter what stat you do, there's people unaccounted for.
Yeah,
there's people who you're not getting surveyed. So that's why we always say roughly this, estimated this, because it's not a solid number. And I do agree with that. Just to give, I think it's good though, even if, say it's like, here's give or take, it is giving you an idea of size, because I don't believe that that something like the CDC, no, I don't know after the pandemic, but
yeah, that's what. Listen, everybody. When you say CDC, I never even knew what CDC was until pandemic. Now
Yeah,
it's
well,
like, okay.
but the CDC's, they're politics, so they're not like, it's not like going to like the scientists.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't take COVID away. I'm talking about just for this. I don't believe that they would just randomly go 10.6%. Like I think it comes from, there has to be something going on.
Sure.
Where they are able to at least
Tests and
so
trials and.
I would say I'm a hopeful person, optimistic. I would hope that it is going down. In fact, I would hope that they're wrong and that it's going down even faster than that. Like maybe there's just people that they're not. I don't know. But alcohol related. So this is something I actually learned a little bit ago, that alcohol like related deaths is one of the highest causes of death in life, because you have like it's alcohol related could be like if you're drinking and driving to your liver failing. There's so many that like alcohol is one, like just alcohol in general is one of the leading causes of death.
And it's one of the most dangerous to
addiction.
It's one. Well, to recover from. Physically. That and like Xanax is one of the. But alcohol is very dangerous. You have to be like monitored when an alcoholic becomes non-alcoholic. It's a little bit of a process. It's more of a process than even coming off of heroin. It's a little more dangerous.
And it's actually one of the most preventable causes of death too. So it's kind of crazy how like one of the most preventable is one of.
I'll tell you what. That's one thing I don't fucking miss at all. I haven't drank in 10 years. I don't. I'm telling. I don't,
well, it's poison.
I don't miss it, and I'm not like I don't care if you do. I just personally, I don't miss the hangovers. I just don't miss it.
No,
not even a little bit.
I know. I say this to Tyler all the time. Like since becoming a mom, I had definitely a drinking problem. I would drink like Wednesday through Sunday.
Tito's handle
Tito's
to the head.
I would drink wine by myself in my bedroom. Like it was a problem. And when I became a mom, I kind of jumped out of that, and I was like, wow, I can wake up and just be like, okay.
Fresh head.
Yeah.
And it's like when I do go out with friends now, I wake up and I'm like, oh my.
So now you're not drinking at all?
I drink like occasionally.
Yeah, I would say.
I definitely don't drink.
So definitely a change.
Definitely a change in like my overall health. I have terrible migraines. I don't even get my migraines as often.
Yeah. Well, your internal changes, especially if you're drinking like that steady, and then your body starts physically.
Well, it's a downer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It might not feel like it when you're at like the club or the bar because everything else around you is upper. And
I
that's
had more than a great time when I was drinking.
We're drinking, but alcohol itself it's a poison. You are like making yourself a lethargic version of yourself, and I think people don't like. Really, it's just like 21. It's great. Like, and by the way, everybody, I drink. I don't drink anything. I don't drink dark liquor. I don't drink liquor. I don't do shots. I will only drink a seltzer or wine because I had a drinking problem, but it was a little bit different. I wasn't that it was I had to drink or that I was drinking back-to-back days. It was that when I did drink, I took it too far every single time.
See, that's a misconception too. A lot of people. Everybody drinking problems are different.
Yeah,
it's not I drink every day and I'm at work sipping liquor.
Yeah, like I wasn't drunk at work.
It's every time you fucking drink, you black out.
And I'm doing the most horrendous things, and I'm saying awful things to people, and then like every single time I was drinking, and it would get like that. I'm like talking about killing myself. Like it was just not good. And then I had like one final. Was it last summer maybe? Where I was doing really good for a really long time, but I went out and I like drank. No, maybe it was 2 summers ago, and
not last summer.
No, it was the summer before that, and I like came home and I like for like first time in like maybe even a year, I was like, oh my God, like I hate my life, I want to die, like all this other stuff. But for the first time, I literally was like, it was last time I drank and drove. Thank you. Last time I drink and drove. And I'm like sitting in my car in the driveway, and I'm like having the thought, I'm like, actually, bitch, no, you don't want to die. It's because you have all this alcohol in your system. Go to the fucking side, take a nap, and we're done drinking like this. And that was the last time I really, I actually, when I was just in New York 2 weeks ago, I had a like vodka cocktail or whatever for the first time because they didn't have wine, and even like ordering it, I was like, yeah, but I had there. It's also New York, and they're like this big.
Yeah, but you should have it.
Moderation,
absolutely. Yeah, everything. Yeah. Life is moderation.
It was delicious. I didn't, and I had a great time.
And you enjoy it more.
Yeah,
right. When you're not doing something all the time,
and to hurt yourself too. Yeah, I think like the intention, but. And it is such a good feeling to not be doing that to like yourself, either daily or just when you do it, you're going too far all the way with it. But it's unfortunate when there's people who are like,
well, you didn't hit. It doesn't sound like a rock bottom, you know what I mean? But you definitely hit a bottom. You had an experience.
Yeah.
You had something changed physically and mentally.
I mean, I did try to kill myself a couple times when I was going through that, but. It's fine. I just went to the loony bin, and I have grippy socks, and it was fine.
Yeah, I got a few pair.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy going to the mental hospital because I then...
Hold on, this is over.
I like meeting the people there.
Oh my God.
What I didn't realize...
I work in Atlantic. It's a mental hospital whole place, so...
Yeah, maybe I should have moved there instead of Philly.
You need a little more excitement in your life.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, you're in Philly now.
Oh, well, yeah, I get enough excitement. Did you guys see the car crash that just happened?
Yeah.
With the teenagers?
I see one every day.
Yeah, no,
it's... A car will just fly into the side of a building, and it'll say, meanwhile in Philly.
Yeah, actually is what happened. They literally flew into the building. In Port Richmond. Oh, well, I'm taking that out because I don't need people to stalk me. Yeah, but it's the city. I don't even think it really matters. I think I attract unwell people because I'm such like a healing person, but it's different levels of unwell. Like the last person at the, I'll never forget the last time. This might have been the last time I was at, the reason I don't want to go to the mental hospitals anymore. I take back what I said, but they brought in a John Doe, which was so weird to me to have a John Doe. This was it was a couple years ago, but I'm like, how do you not know who he is? And there's no doors where in the one that I was in, because you're in like the crisis where you have literally nothing, and we're across like this tiny little hall, and they have him sit down at the end of his bed, and he's just dead in the eyes, dead in everything, just straight. And I was like, I don't like that he just doesn't look like he's there. And they're asking him questions or whatever, and he's just sitting there. And then after they like left him, he's just staring straight, like whatever, not moving. But then he like had looked at me for like a split second, and like seeing his eyes even move, I was like, don't look
fun
at
anymore.
Don't look at me and like
scary.
that. Yeah, and I smiled and waved, and he did not smile and wave back. And I was like, see, can I get a door put on right now? Because I don't know how I feel. The entire time I was there, he never moved from that spot, and he did not talk, and he did not.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, they brought him strapped in, found him on the street. They said, I don't know. That was.
Yeah, there's a whole city full of them where I'm at. Mm-hmm. They just sit there and stare at you.
But me and Angelina kind of talked a little bit about like our abusive behavior with alcohol, and I've never abused drugs. Maybe a little bit of Adderall when I was in college, but it was never a problem.
More of a party drug.
Yeah. Well, I actually just did it to study, and it would keep me up, but it actually allowed me to be focused. So I do believe I have some form of what would be diagnosed as ADHD.
Yeah. I think everybody does.
Yeah.
I was just saying this yesterday. I was like, it's just like a hyperactive little brain function thing going on. But I know that you have your own story in terms of like, self-abuse when it comes to drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, drugs and alcohol for a long time. It was part of my life. I mean, I had the normal, started drinking when I was a teenager and smoking a little weed and doing this and that. But then, it just graduated as I got older into harder drugs, and it was, I was smoking crack, shooting heroin. A little all the above.
Yeah.
I was running the Camden mostly every day. I was doing a lot of crazy bad things for a long time. But yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't know if you watch the podcast, but she doesn't do it as much, but I do. I like laugh in uncomfortable situations.
I just saw you.
I just had to look away because for you to say that, because like I know you as like TJ that like you are now, but I've always been aware of like what you went through growing up.
So you were young.
Yeah.
And I was always around, but you didn't really.
Yeah. So, but when you just like were just saying it just that, I did smile and like look away, but it wasn't. I just had to give clarification. Everybody knows like when I smile uncomfortable.
Not laughing at my drug addiction.
No. Just to hear you say it though, I'm like that's so crazy.
It is a crazy part. Yeah, it is. It's nuts when I think about what the shit I used to do, and just that's kind of why I live the way I live now, and I try to do what I can, and I speak when I can, and I've done a couple I did I was asked to speak at a graduation.
Yeah.
It's a behavioral school called Yale.
Okay.
But stuff like that, like it's insane. Like the things I get asked to do now, and then the things that I did then. You know what I mean?
It's the then to now,
Yeah.
and I can't imagine how that is for you because the then was like a severe with the drug abuse and everything like that.
Yeah, I was. It was a lot of pills at first. That was like later in my. I've been in security for like 27 years, like on and off.
Yeah.
Like since I was like 19, working the door at like KT's in Riverside.
Yeah.
And then I was over in Delaware Ave in Philly for like on and off. But I seen some shit out there. But it was always partying. I did a lot of coke and drank and even pills then.
Yeah.
But when I started doing pills. I'm not going to blame doctors, but I got prescribed Percocet and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's funny, there's right across the street, that Acme is one of the pharmacies that I used to jump because I used to have like 5 different pharmacies that I could get prescriptions
And you would
done.
just jump through them, like jump around.
No. I used to jump pharmacies like.
That's what I'm saying. Like you would go to the different ones.
Yes. That was one of them I used to go to when I was pulling in. I was like, holy shit, I haven't seen that place in years.
And here you are coming on the Get Well Soon podcast.
Right? But it was years and years. But then pills and then I was on methadone. I got in a methadone program. That's a whole nother fucking podcast.
Is that just meth?
Methadone? No. Methadone is an actual.
Yeah.
It's another one of them where you go on that to get off of heroin.
Wait, why is this like triggering my brain? This conversation of using meth to get? Because when you said it to me, I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck do you mean that you take meth to get off and they're like, yo, yeah, it like helps. I'm like,
You never heard of methadone?
no, not until she really started telling me about it in the.
Yeah, I was in a methadone clinic for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
I was on 180 milligrams. I walked off at 45 milligrams.
Wow.
Went to a rehab. Went insane.
Oh
Literally went nuts. Yeah. I was 7 years. I was going to Camden on and off. I'll tell you what. I was getting more drugs in that line go to into the methadone clinic than I ever knew. I wish I would have known about it.
Yeah.
When I was a drug addict. It would have been easier.
Didn't you were talking about this?
How do
Absolute
you
poison.
feel about so she was telling me her story, and she was like, yeah, I'm 2 years sober, and then she brought up that.
Do you believe that that's considered sober?
No. So, again, I don't really have the decision making on what's sober and what's not. But I'll tell you, it should be, if it's used the right way, which should be like a 2-week to a month process of getting on and off. Listen, I was on heroin a bunch of times. I got off it, and I was on methadone one time and got off it. I would try to kick heroin 30 times before I tried methadone again. It was the most insane experience of my life.
So then I wouldn't consider it. Me personally, I wouldn't say it's sober. Then if it's that bad.
So it is mind old. Like I remember the first day.
She has it. She said though
But she's been clean for 2 years.
Yeah.
But her clean is she survives from method. Like she
Yes.
has to take
So-
meth once a week to
Okay. Oh, meth or methadone?
methadone.
Okay.
Methadone.
So
That's,
there's different kind of cleans too.
Yeah.
Like I know guys on Suboxone programs.
Yeah.
They will say I'm clean.
Yeah.
okay.
And I'm not saying they are or not, but listen, I know some people that it worked for, but I know 90% of people that it didn't work for. Suboxone and methadone. That's why, again, I could get on a fucking soapbox with methadone. I'm not a fan of it at all.
Yeah.
Anybody that's got some clean time shouldn't be getting on methadone for anything.
So can you explain like how you reacted to methadone?
So methadone, I remember the first day I took it. I went in and...
Can I ask how it's taken? A pill or is it like a?
So there used to be pills and it's liquid.
It's
Okay.
It's a liquid form.
Okay, so go ahead,
There
sorry.
used to be wafers, but I don't know if they do those anymore.
not that
It's a liquid form. So you basically, it's almost like it's a doctor's office, but it's a doctor's office in the middle of Camden, right? This is just what I
They
went
put up another one.
on Broadway.
No, there's one I think over kind of Mount Holly area.
Yeah, they're you'd be surprised. They're all over the place. You don't know
Yeah.
about them too much, but but the first day I went, I remember I took it, and that's the first day that I went a full day without taking any pills for the first time. And you get high off of methadone. I felt like I could run through a brick wall. Like I remember taking the methadone, and then like an hour later being like, man, I still don't want any pills.
Yeah.
And I felt amazing.
Yeah.
And then a few hours went by, and then I ate. We never ate. When you're on drugs, you don't
Drugs,
eat. It was like milkshakes.
Yeah.
Literally, I was like 160 pounds.
Yeah.
But I was eating, and I thought it was. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it was saving my fucking life.
Yeah.
And then the longer I was on it, I got hooked. I started losing teeth, my gums. I was 300 pounds. Literally, I'll show you a picture. I was 300 pounds.
I don't think I've ever seen a picture of you 300
Yeah,
pounds.
300 pounds. Just totally out of. This was 15. Somewhere maybe like almost 15, 16 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I thought it was like saving my life, and it was actually destroying me. So fast forward 7 years, I finally, the reason I got off of methadone is because I owed a drug dealer in Camden so much money, I just had to disappear. So I literally started. I was on 180 milligrams, and I started weaning myself down 5 milligrams a day, down to 45 milligrams, and then I finally, like, the dude was after me. I had to leave.
Yeah.
So I just walked off, checked myself into a rehab. There was a whole story behind that, but long story short, just checked myself into a rehab. I was in that rehab for like 3 or 4 days before I even knew that I was going to start kicking, start detoxing.
Okay.
That's how strong that methadone was in your system.
It took 3 to 4 days.
It was like 4 or 5, might have been 4 or 5 days, but I was like, man, this is okay. I'm good.
Yeah.
And then I didn't.
So it's like a delay in.
Yes, because it's so strong. It's in your bones.
Yeah.
That-
So you're still feeling great when you're not taking it,
Yes,
and then
you
it
can
just
go a
hits
couple
you like a
days.
truck.
Correct. And then it started with no sleep, and I didn't sleep for like a month.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I had like a few weeks where I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I was like, at one point, no bullshit, I locked myself in my mom's basement. This was like what I was doing to get off of this shit.
Yeah.
I was slamming my head against a concrete wall
Just to try and
to
knock
put
yourself.
myself. My sister moved out because she was in the basement too and couldn't
Yeah.
fucking listen to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But it was such an insane experience. But it took so long to detox off of that. Like I would never want to do it again, and I don't suggest it for anyone. Unless
It almost is like it's apparently like this method, or you could say solution that they say you would have to give you like a better quality of life that help you get off. And then instead, for most people, because you said 90% that based off of personal experience, like the bubble that we know, it actually didn't give them a better quality of life.
They're still standing in those lines, no teeth, just a mess. I know some people like that right now that were going with me. And then like I said, I know some guys that
the healthcare systems, that's not stats that they don't have. They definitely are fully aware that
that's a racket just like everything.
Yep, yeah. And that's unfortunate.
I paid cash every week. They didn't care. I didn't have to see a counselor. I was failing drug tests every single week. I was there for 7 years doing that.
Yeah.
As long as I paid them every week, they didn't give a fuck.
No, they don't care as long as you pay them. Now, if you don't pay them, then they're going to want to know.
I didn't get any therapy counseling. I didn't get talked at. Nothing. It was come in, drink my methadone, and go home.
Yeah.
That's what
insane.
it was.
Now they give vials to
take homes.
Take home.
So I never got take homes.
On the goes?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to to get down. When I was there, you had to piss clean to get take homes.
Okay.
So you could actually. I was going there for 7 years,
yeah.
and I drove there every single day,
wow.
because I never got a take home.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, methadone was insane. That was a
experience.
Yeah. That's a whole freaking. I could do a whole series of podcasts on that. No bullshit.
Could I ask you what about how you felt towards yourself? Like, what was the reason you were taking pills and doing drugs?
I have no idea. It wasn't a bad childhood. It wasn't. I was depressed. I was a partier.
Yeah.
Like it was more of a.
Like it was like party gone too far.
It was just a feeling. I started taking them pills, man, and it was like, this is insane. I felt like fucking Superman.
Yeah.
I'd have a night of drinking, coke, shit. I'd wake up and take a couple perks, and I'm like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's go. It's like, it's insane. And it's.
I've been around a couple of people who are like addicted to perks, and it's crazy. They really I don't know. I've never done anything other than marijuana and a couple of Adderall sometimes, but like having conversations, they are like unstoppable in their brain. And it's like, stop talking, sit down. Like we're at Route 130 Diner. Why are you like trying to crash out right? It's like we say crash out nowadays, but like crashing out all the time, but it's just like a macho, like, sure. I'm on top of the world. Like this is a great freaking night, and then they get all, and then it stops, and it's like severely like
crash.
Yeah, and then they're like, I need it again to go back up.
Sure. Well, then you get to the point where I used to wake up in the morning and no bullshit. When I was taking perks, I was taking a lot of perks.
Yeah.
I would eat like 5
bars. Is that what they're called?
No, like 30s or whatever. But strong. I would take a lot of strong Percocet before I even got out of bed in the morning.
Oh.
And just to feel normal. Yeah. So it would go from you would take these drugs and have a great time with them, perks and shit like that. But then there would be a change, maybe a year, maybe months, whatever it was, where you weren't taking them anymore to have fun. I was taking them so I could get up and just function.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how that's the change in the drug addiction. When it goes from fun to normal.
To where you need it to have like your average day. Do you believe that people can be addicted to marijuana?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I smoke weed. That's one thing I talk about. Again, I talk about everything openly.
Yeah. Oh, we do. I've come. They know I've come on. I've come in here some mornings and I'm not here at all.
Yeah, and well, the reason I say that is because obviously my past, and people know my past, and I'm open about my past.
Yeah.
But my position now, the guys that run my company and the owners of my company know my past. Yeah. They would never take my job away from me.
No. Yeah.
Everybody I come in contact with, I don't start the conversation with, hey, I'm a TJ, I'm a drug addict.
Yeah.
But if it comes up, I'm not afraid to talk about it. So that's why
your power though, and I obviously I see it on Instagram, and when you post about it, you do a lot of speeches and motivational talks, and I'd even call them like little, like not even little, but just like TED Talks to people.
They're little,
about.
Yeah.
No,
I enjoy it.
Nothing's ever little. Like even if you help one person, it's a life that wasn't going to get helped without you maybe helping, stuff like that. And we talk about the whole point of the Get Well Soon podcast is taking the shitty stuff and or the trauma or the things that we go through that we think that maybe we only go through, but then you realize that actually there's a percentage of people out there that are going through or have gone through either the same emotions you like have. It could be from a different situation or anything like that. And if you can take the bad things that happen to you around you or bad things you've done and flip it to make yourself a better person, that at the end of the day you won in that situation.
Absolutely.
And I think you are like the epitome. Is the word epitome? I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know if that's the right usage of the word, but
I get it.
Like of somebody who did that, of taking, because from your submission we have that you had said your turning point was the final rehab you checked into about 10 years ago, and the mental and physical change that took place with hard work, persistence, and a positive attitude. At 37 years old, which it was crazy reading this. 37 is my lucky number because it's my birth date. And so when you were like at 37, I started in a halfway house, 170 pounds, couldn't do 5 push-ups, didn't have, can I share all of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I figured because it was in the survey, I just
Sure.
double checked. Didn't have a license, bank account, car, money, job, self-respect, confidence. That was the beginning. Can I ask you, when you talk about like hard work, positive attitude, not having self-respect or confidence, what would you say are like key things or key roles that helped you get to where you are now from that point?
You know, everybody's different. What I did was that day. I remember that day, like as you're talking about it. It's funny. It wasn't like a white light thing, but I bring God up, right?
Yeah.
But I don't ever lead with that because I don't want it to sound crazy. But the first day I got into rehab was like a normal day for me. I was talking to guys about trading prescriptions for doctors and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened on the second day, but I was in a class and I just was like, I got overwhelmed and I was like, what the fuck am I doing, man?
Yeah.
I went back to my room and I got down on my knees and I fucking prayed. I prayed like so hard and so long. And all I was asking for was to take the urge and the obsession like away from me. And it did. Like that day, I literally felt, I was on my knees and I felt like just something get lifted from me. And I was weak, like physically weak. But that was the day I was like, I'm no more fucking excuses. I took ownership for everything. Nothing was like, if I did it wrong, I did it wrong. I admitted to it.
Yeah.
And that was just where it started. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a bank account. I didn't have clothes.
Yeah.
Like it was just, and you know where I came from. It wasn't but I got to the point in my life where I didn't have a couch to sleep on. I didn't have anything. I sold everything I had. My fucking truck. I didn't really, like I said, I went with a trash bag of clothes to my rehab. And that was the day I was like, I didn't have anything else. All I could do in my life to change was change it mentally.
Yeah.
So I started with that. I literally just started and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take ownership for everything. And that's how it started. And then
accountability and awareness.
Yes.
We talk about
and then
that as a
positive
big step.
attitude.
Yup.
Yeah. Accountability and awareness is number fucking one. It's your fault.
Well, because it's your fault, but also you can't fix anything about yourself if you're not aware or you're not telling yourself what needs to be fixed. So, you won't get the self-love if you're not being accountable or aware of where you need to put that self-love or where you're lacking it. When it comes to being able to take the bad stuff that happened to you, well, you have to admit your role in what you played. Like I've talked about it. Like we've talked about it. We used to be bitches, mean, like little miserable.
Sure. Everybody can change.
Asshole.
You can literally change everything about your fucking
Well,
life.
be careful, not actually careful. So I said that on TikTok about there was a whole thing about this influencer who, when she was like 10 years old, posted like the N-word on Ask FM, like what's up, like whatever, and everybody was like, she's racist, whatever. And I made a video like, okay, at 13 years old, yeah, maybe she put the N-word on Ask FM, but to think that there's no possibility that she could be a better person today, 10 years later, is one of the worst mindsets, because if that's what you truly believe, then we are fucked as a society. Because to think
100%.
that nothing is going to ever get better, or like, sorry, my mouth was getting...
Schmegma.
Yeah. I was like, that's... thank you. I was like, no, you want to have the mindset that I say until the day somebody dies, you have the hope that they can change. Now, does that mean you have to forgive them for what they did prior to change?
No.
There's
Not
some
at all.
people that I know will never forgive what I did to them. I did some unspeakable things
Yeah.
that keep me up at night still.
Yeah.
They do.
And that's...
But I deal with it.
Yeah.
I deal with it. I accept it.
Because you do
and
everything
I'm okay.
you can do.
I'm okay with whoever doesn't talk to me. I'm fine with
Yup.
that. I
I have
understand.
a question too for you, which is kind of personal. When you were in this state that drugs were like taking over your mind, kind of thing, I don't know how to put these into words.
Are you trying to ask what, like when the family loved ones,
Yeah.
the thing that you talk
Yeah.
about? So when you're like abusing and doing the drugs or whatever, why doesn't your loved ones play as big of a factor as your loved ones would think? So when you're on the outside of somebody who's abusing, you want to help them. You're like, all right, you could do rehab 1,000 times. We can take you to rehab. We can pay for your rehab. We can beg you to please stop. Like, we love you.
Nothing you can do.
But what is the mindset of somebody when, like, on your end of it?
When I'm in it, there's nothing you can do to change it.
Like,
You're
just gone. Like, do you think you just weren't
Like, you don't
there?
think about, like, I don't know how your relationship is, like, say, like, parent-wise, but, like, you don't think about, like, your best friends and
Not at all. Not as far as like.
Like, stopping you from.
I have a lot of addicts in my family.
Okay.
That's why.
And Angelina has talked about how sometimes it's hard for her to understand how, like, they don't take it, like, people like that don't take, like, your loved ones in consideration. Like, you have so many people who love you, so many people who will, like, help you do it, but, like, why isn't that enough?
The drug it's a disease.
Yeah.
It is 100% a disease. It really is. You have to work on your disease.
Yeah.
That I do believe. There's nothing. Don't take. It's. I can say this, but don't take anything personal. It's very personal, unfortunately. But like, I was a nice person, but I was a dirtbag, man.
Yeah.
I did, like I said, unspeakable. That drug turns you into a different mindset. That's all you're thinking about. I'm not thinking about you. I'm not thinking about your feelings. I might that night.
Yeah.
I'll cry myself to
Yeah.
sleep. But guess what? I'm still going to do it, whatever I got to do to get that drug and that money that day. That's all that matters. And I was a driven drug addict. So it was just boom. I stole, I did what I had to.
Oh, yeah.
I borrowed, I begged, and I did it.
A go-getter, but in the wrong way.
wrong
Well, that's why I say,
wrong way.
drug addicts are recovered drug addicts and guys out of prison.
Yeah.
And shit, give me them.
Yeah.
Give me them.
I
the
love
best
that.
workers.
I love that. I say that when it comes to like people coming out of prison.
Recovered and even prison, recovered, the mindset, recovered.
Yeah.
I have my best workers.
The mindset. You have to have the recovery. Because I think, especially, I mean, you probably can tell when you meet somebody who's in recovery or is recovered, but you could tell when their mindset's not recovered.
I have a gift.
Yeah.
I got a fucking gift that not a lot of people have. I'm a recovered drug addict.
Yeah.
And I have this fucking drive that I had from then. And what I do is I take that hustle. I did everything I could.
Yeah.
So I do everything I can now.
Yeah.
Right?
But you have a different
Oh
destination.
yeah, now it's a positive.
Yep.
Listen, I have a criminal mind. That's why in this business that I'm in, it is. I do.
No,
but
because you do, and I'm laughing because you do.
100%, I do. I got a criminal mind, but I
for the
use
good.
it. Yes,
For the good.
Yeah.
Every company I worked where I see an angle, and I'm like, oh my god, I could get this, do that.
Yeah.
But now I can fix things. Now I can see ahead of the problem.
Yeah.
I can, and you know what I mean. Now I'm at a point now where I'm sitting, like I sit down with the owners of casinos and these companies, these multi-millionaires.
Isn't it crazy?
And I walk into these meetings, and I used to walk in, and I was the guy who was quiet, and I'd sit in the corner, even this, like looking like this, but now I walk in every fucking room like I own it.
Yeah.
Because I deserve it.
Yeah.
I know
You
that
do
now. I
deserve
deserve
it.
it. I can say that out loud. I'm proud to say it. I've worked so hard, and it's all and I've got a lot of help along the way, and I take advantage of it. And that's why I give back as much as I can.
Yeah.
When I don't like seek it out, but when I get asked to speak, I speak.
Yeah.
When I get asked to come on a podcast, I come on a podcast. So I make sure if I'm available, I say yes. And it started out with just little like groups of like AA and NA and shit like that. And again, I don't do the rooms like that because I don't believe in everything they do there.
Yeah.
Right. I believe in a system where you learn how to become a productive member of society.
Yeah.
Not going back to the same place and giving a fucking hug every day because you messed up.
Yeah.
Right. And again, if that works, I did it. I went for a couple months and got my shit together.
I just think in general, regardless of who you are, it could be better.
Absolutely.
It could all be,
And
all the
everything works
systems could be
different.
better.
Absolutely, 100%. And everything works different for everybody. So if you're still going and you've been there for 10 years, keep going.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
don't
that's-
stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is just my personal, this is what I've done. You know, it's always general with me. I speak about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just what circumstances and what decisions I made.